Hey guys, it's Joe, and today I have something really special to share with you because today is the launch day of our new barbecue collection, and I'm going to teach you guys all summer long how to bake on the barbecue outside. That's right, don't turn on your oven all summer long. The barbecue is your new friend. It is your new oven. And for those of you who don't barbecue, it doesn't matter. We're going to do it together. It's going to be great. Today I thought I'd show you one of my very favorite new mixes. This is the Speedy Speedy cinnamon rolls. We also have some quick dinner rolls. Those are really good. Sea salt. So I'm going to show you how to do these. We're going to do them quick. This is a different kind of thing. It's kind of like a scone meets a cinnamon roll, and it's great because you can pull it together really quickly. You'll see. I love a regular cinnamon roll. I just never seem to be able to time it enough so that I can have them ready when I want and take 3 hours for the dough to rise. So this is my solution to that. On a quick weekend, when you know you have people coming over, this is your go-to, and we're gonna bake it outside together. So here we go. I'm gonna take a large bowl. I wanna have really cold butter, stick and a half of really cold butter, and 2 tablespoons of softened butter. I've used some already today. I'll show you. 2 tablespoons of softened butter, and we're gonna do this together real quick. And hopefully I don't forget anything, because I'm very tired today. So I'm gonna pull out of my bag the cinnamon sugar mix. We're gonna roll that in later on. And I have a stunt bag today, because our bags aren't ready. So I'm gonna pour this into the bowl, and then everything you need is already mixed into there. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna actually pull out 2 tablespoons of mix. Do I have a plate for this? I'm gonna pull out two tablespoons of mix, and this is going to give you a little flour to roll on your cutting board so that nothing sticks when we roll. You gotta have a rolling pin for this. I will admit, this is a bit of an intermediate recipe, so if you're not great at rolling, you might want to test it out before you start with these, but I think you could do these. We're going to do it together. I'm going to show you. It's going to be easy. So now I have my 2 tablespoons set aside. I've got everything in my bowl here. You can use a food processor. I didn't feel like dragging it all the way over here close to the camera, so I thought I would show you how to do some grated cold butter. This is really great because it's quick, it's easy, and you can even have your sticks of butter in the freezer and grate them when they're frozen. Mine are really, really cold, and I'm just gonna take a box grater. I used this morning to do a little test. Box grater, and I'm just gonna grate. You want your butter to be really cold, so try not to handle it too much and try and do this pretty quick. You could also work, I love to work this butter into the dough with my hands. We're gonna get that out with a little knife. Try not to touch the butter at all. You want it to stay really cold, and just get most of it. Stick of butter. Look how easy this is. This really does all the work for you, and it's quick cleanup too. I usually like to press the butter into the dough by hand. That gives it some nice layers, but for this purpose, this is fine. And also, it's technically the weekend, so enjoy yourself, relax. Okay, so I'm gonna get all the butter out of here as much as I can. And I'm gonna work this butter gently like this into the flour. Don't let it all, you don't want it to clump together. You can also grate it cold and then put it back like in the freezer. That's even better if you have an extra few minutes. Okay, so I'm just gonna work this in. I don't wanna touch it too much because I want it to stay nice and cold. And now, in our directions, we say to use buttermilk. I love to use buttermilk, but I also love to use heavy cream. And the reason is because that extra fat just gives it a little more flavor and texture, kind of just it changes the texture a little bit. So what I like to do is just do a little melange. I'm gonna use about half. If you can find whole buttermilk, use whole buttermilk. This is low fat buttermilk. So I'm gonna do about half a cup of buttermilk. I can just pour my cream right into there, any kind of heavy cream. And the thing is, when you use cream, it's quite thick. So there we go. I'm gonna put that all in there. I love this whole relaxed feel. I'm gonna put an extra 2 tablespoons of cream just because the cream is thick and I don't want the dough to be too dry. So you can do that. You'll kind of get a sense of how wet or dry the dough is. How are we doing for time? Good. My barbecue is getting hot outside, so you should have your barbecue preheated. And if you go to zoeford.com, you'll see barbecue baking at the top. There is our field guide for baking on the barbecue all summer long. You gotta read that before you start baking on the barbecue. Lots of pro tips on how to make this work so you don't make any mistakes. I'll show you how we set something up on the barbecue. We're gonna sell a kit so that you can just purchase sort of a pan and a grate. Makes it really easy. I'm just gonna work this in with my hands now that I've kind of gotten it moistened there. I'm gonna work this in with my hands like you would any sort of scone dough or batter that you'd be making sort of a scone with. Squeeze it together. If I notice that it's really dry, sometimes with the weather, it's actually kind of cold out today. Sometimes it just behaves a little differently, and you could put in 1 tablespoon extra if it's too dry. Back to the barbecue setup. So you're gonna wanna use indirect heat. Learn how to control the heat on your barbecue so you can get an accurate temperature. Sometimes you put a little marker line where those are gonna show the actual temperature. We're gonna provide you with a thermometer so that you don't have to rely on the thermometer on the barbecue, which are often kind of inaccurate. So we wanna get as accurate as we can. That's really important. They're inexpensive. You can always buy one at the hardware store, Canadian Tire, Amazon. If you're shopping on Amazon, throw one in your cart. They're about $5. Excellent thing to have. Okay, my dough is coming together. Feels great. And I'm gonna show you what this should feel like. Okay, it's not sticky. It stays together and it's still soft, okay? So now we're gonna roll this out together. Slightly challenging part. Don't be intimidated. You can do this. Let me get everything out of the way here. I have my reserved flour here. I'm gonna try and use about 1 tablespoon of it. I'm gonna sprinkle this over the surface. Don't worry, if you don't have enough, you got some flour in your cupboard, just use a ½ tablespoon or something extra if you need. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna press this down flat like this, very rough, very rough. And you just wanna fold it over and then press it down again and fold it over. And what you're doing is you are getting the layers of the butter all the way through your dough, and that's what it's gonna give it a nice puff. That's the secret when things puff, it's layers of butter. Now I'm gonna press it into a triangle. That's not a triangle. I'm gonna press it into a rectangle, like that. And what we're looking for is rectangle-ish. We wanna get this in a rectangle-ish format. And I'm gonna take my rolling pin and start rolling. The extra flour is so that when it sticks on my rolling pin, I can just put a tiny bit on like that. That'll stop it from sticking. I'm gonna go through this quickly just so I can get you out to the barbecue, which is hopefully right at 425 degrees. I worked on it this morning to get it just there. Might take you a couple times, figure out how to get it just right, but it's not hard, you can do it. If it's a colder day, you might have to adjust a little bit. Warmer day, maybe you're gonna turn it down a little bit. We recommend, this is only for gas barbecue. Sorry, charcoal people, but not gonna taste too good with that charcoal-y flavor. Although, who knows, try it. I need a little more flour sprinkled on here, starting to stick. What I wanna do here is get it into a sort of, if you're into measurements, 9 by 15 inches. That's what we're going for. I could have probably rolled you out a stunt one, but it's good for you to see this. All right, we're almost there, almost there, almost there. And it doesn't have to be a perfect rectangle because you are going to cut this up, put it into a muffin tin, and we're gonna make cinnamon rolls. Sticking on the bottom a little, no problem, no problem. Get rid of that, put some extra down there. All right, a couple more rolls and we're done. A little sticking. No problem. I got some extra here. You want it nice and even. I think that's maybe more important, nice and even. So that one side isn't thick and one side isn't thin. All right, good enough for me. Make sure we're not sticking underneath there. Put a little extra. Now I got my cinnamon sugar packet right here. This is fun part. So we're gonna spread the cinnamon sugar packet all over. Do a little sprinkle. I like to stay a tiny bit away at the top just so when I fold it, this actually seems like a lot of sugar. That's okay. All right, I keep a little space at the top so when I roll, the sugar doesn't shoot out the top there, okay? And now what I'm gonna do, like a good old-fashioned sleeping bag, if you were one of those people at camp, could you roll your sleeping bag really tight? So we're gonna roll it up really tight here. Tighter the better, okay? Tuck in the ends, press those ends like that, okay? Now there's loose cinnamon sugar in here. So what we wanna do is make sure that we press it tight and a little bit's gonna fall out, no problem. I'm gonna get my pan ready. I already started greasing it heavily. I'm just gonna show you, I always have 2 tablespoons of really soft butter And I just really want to get the butter spread in there so they don't stick, particularly in the middle. That's where these are going to stick, right in the middle, bottom middle of those. I'm racing against the clock here to get you guys this video in its entirety. Okay, now what I'm going to do, watch carefully. I'm going to cut this right down the center, and then that in half and that in half. Now I have 4. 4 times 3 is 12. So I'm going to cut each one of these into 3. This is going to assure that I have some really nice 12 even rolls. I'm going to pick these up carefully because the cinnamon sugar is inside. Just hold my pan here like that, flip them over, pop them into my pan like that. We are going to hurry right out to the barbecue. The barbecue is preheated. I'll show you a little barbecue setup. Get in here, guys. They all go in. This cinnamon sugar is sticking quite well, actually. And they look gorgeous. All right. Make sure you fit them in all nice and tight. Voila. Now, a little hand wipe down. Let's get out to the barbecue. Come on, you're coming with me. Let's go. Barbecue awaits. Ooh, I didn't consider how I would open the door. All right, door open, barbecue ready. So my barbecue is actually preheated to the exact right temperature. I got it around 425. Now I'm going to show you the barbecue setup. This you can buy at ZoeFord.com. It is just a regular restaurant quality baking pan. We got a grate on top. It will come with a thermometer. They're not here yet. I'm going to open up the grill. This is not been, you don't want to preheat this. This is going to go right on top of the grill, and then check it out. Take my cinnamon buns, put them right on top. Check that out, baby. See how they're raised up, and they're going to be in the center. If this grate gets in your way, just figure a way out. Close it down. Going to let it get back up to temperature, and that is going to bake. Each barbecue is different, so that is going to bake between 23 and 28 minutes, near your 20-minute mark. You're going to want to check in on it. You've really got to use your intuition when you're barbecue baking. I baked some for you earlier, don't worry. Those are going to take a little while. Check out these puppies. Check out these. I have this at the wrong angle. Hold on. Check these out. Yeah. You could do this on a Sunday morning. This is not hard. Get the kids into the kitchen. They're going to have a great time doing this. And they're nice and gooey in the middle. Look at that. Crispy on the outside. I would just pop that open, throw some butter in there. Away you go. We have a recipe on our website so you can make a drizzle to go on top. At some point this summer, we'll have some flavored ones online. So good. I'm so excited to share this with you guys. You guys in the newsletter, people in the newsletter are the first ones to get this launch, but if you're watching this later, don't worry. You can head to ZoeFord.com. The whole barbecue baking collection is there. We have sea salt dinner rolls, crazy rockstar graham crackers, the cinnamon buns, and we have some grilled cheese pancakes. You got to get into those. They're great. Get a griddle for your barbecue or use a cast iron pan, and away you go. Enjoy the summer, guys, and I can't wait to show you more barbecue baking. It's going to be so much fun. I know you didn't think you could do it, but you can, and I'm here to help you. See you soon. If you haven't signed up for the newsletter at ZoeFord.com, check out what we're doing, and see you next time.